right, guys, welcome to Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm here with Scott from Hixson Growlers.
Whoa, hey, brother. What's up?
How's it going, man? I started learning about craft beer through you. You know, we met over at your old location.
Oh, yeah. You were a Miller Lite drinker, let's be
For
honest.
sure. Keystone, probably.
Probably a little beast here and there, but yeah, that was good. It was fun, and you had a desire to learn, and it was kind of cool. So
I'm fascinated. Like, and I always say this. Shout out to our little hairstylist, Aaron, right down the road from you, Aaron Jackson. Same thing with the hairstylist. Same thing with like having a business. Like if you have experience in something, I don't know it. I'm here to learn. I'm interested. You know, and I've always with your beers. You've always gave me these different beers. You've never gave me the same beer. You've always made me try, get out of my comfort zone, see if you like it. And that's kind of the experience that I love about Hixson Growlers. And I always talk highly of it. I'm like, you know, if you don't know much about craft beer, because there's, you know, now people on the craft beer kick, and I'm not knocking everybody, but they're buying it more for the can graphics.
Well, the can graphics are cool.
They are, but you're finding that.
Well, I think with any new thing that people get into, they go all in. Yeah. And you see it now with some of the cocktails and then the bourbons and everything. Everybody just goes all in, and they start getting, I got to get a single barrel, and I've got to get the newest release, and it's the same way with beer. I mean, it could be a ton of different things. Comic books, golf clubs. I mean, you name it. When people get into a hobby, so to speak, yeah, and that's what they've done with beer, is they made it a hobby. And they say, oh, well, I'm going to go travel here and try different beers, or I'm going to travel there and try these beers. I heard their beers were the best, so I'm going there first. You know, and people are going to come off of that through time. And as people get more educated, especially in our area, I think you'll see it kind of moderate a little bit, and I think people will quit buying things just because someone else said they were great. I think they're going to develop their own taste after a while, and then they'll figure it out.
I went from stouts to IPAs.
Oh, you've had a couple sours in there too.
And sours, but I'm saying I've noticed like my little palate. If I've so into the stouts for a while, I got on the kick, and then all of a sudden I started moving to doing your IPAs, and I found that taste. So it's always changed for me. It was weird because I really went for the heavy.
Well, what's been great is the fact that the newest craze in IPAs, of course, is the New England hazy IPAs or East Coast haze. And what's great about those beers is you don't get the hop bitterness, but you get the full flavor of the hops. So what's happened now is people that did not like bitter beer, beer face, you know, from those old commercials.
That's me.
They're getting a hold of some of these beers, and they're going, oh, wow, I didn't know an IPA could taste like this. It's not 100 IBUs or it's not in your
smoother.
face. Yeah, it's much smoother, more tropical. You get full mouthfeel. It's a better product for people coming into craft beer, and I think that's why you see so many people doing that now. It's just a better product for people coming into craft beer.
And you know, I was with Jonathan Maisano the other day.
Jonathan's a great guy.
And you kind of jumped on the you kind of grabbed that doing the barrel, the aged barrels from his single barrel selection.
Yeah, Jonathan is incredibly talented.
If you're listening, guys, or watching, if you're a bourbon drinker like me, which I love bourbons, but come get a bourbon aged beer from Scott, because I'm telling you, it's life changing. It's if you're a smooth.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, no, but I mean, if you're a smooth bourbon drinking, like, and that beer is just, you can have one of them. It settles you down. It's just the flavors.
Well, I would say 50% of it is the barrel. And I
can taste it.
And I would say that Jonathan, by far, is a leader in this field. I had gotten to know who Jonathan was through other people. We were always touching base, trying to get in touch with each other. And then Jonathan mentioned it to me. Hey, I get these barrels. I don't want to give them away. I want to see them get used.
I love that.
Is there any way that you would think about doing it? And I was so humbled. I was like, oh, yes. And then the goal was not to fail as a train comes by.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, we live. And what's the location over here?
Well, we're at 2339 government. So basically, if you're at the tip of government in Washington, we're a mile down the road on the left. So it's a small building. I don't have any signage. If you know about me, you know about me because someone else has said something to you about me. This is the first time I've ever done
it's a small. It's like a speakeasy.
We're going undercover.
Are we? So with the pandemic going on, how's it impacted? Like how's it impacted your local business?
I have been in the hospitality field since I was 16, and so I'm pretty old now. So that's 30 plus years, and I can tell you that I feel sorry for a lot of businesses and in that hospitality field. I feel sorry for the servers and the cooks and the managers and dishwashers because we are very fortunate in our state to still kind of be open. But I see so many states that are still closed off, and I feel for these people because there's no one hiring in that job field.
No.
So if that's all you know and that's all you've ever done, you're having a problem right now, and a big problem. So if you look at it, if we took everything away from a group of about 20% of the population and said, I'm sorry, you're not going to go to work today because I'm telling you, you can't go to work. What would you do? And so I feel for them. At the same time, I've felt an impact on my business, but nothing like some other states. And I'm very fortunate. My wife works with me here. She is a school teacher, has been for years. This is, I don't want to say my retirement job, but we don't need to make as much money now as we used to. So I've been very fortunate.
This is a passion. This is your passion. Like this is your love. I mean, you started brewing back, back in the day as a hobby, turned in your first business when you did Hops and Growlers, where Hops and Growlers, and that's something, it was like the first down here, I like to go grower set up.
Well, we had no, I was a food and beverage guy at Casino. So I was a food and beverage director, worked for some great people, but I knew I wanted to make a change. And about that time, I had been brewing for several years at home as a hobby to do at night. So I wasn't going anywhere at night or anything like that when I got off work. So I started just brewing at the house, and a buddy of mine said, hey, there's competitions for this. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, you got to do this. He said, your beers are good and you should enter competitions. So we started entering some local competitions. Shout out to Keg and Barrel up in Hattiesburg. They actually had a competition before brewing was legal in the state called the Outlaw, and we were fortunate enough to win grand champion there a couple times. Yeah.
Really? So,
yeah.
I mean, this was
there was a group of about 90 brewers in the state, and they've all gone. A lot of the guys that have won, whether it's Ben up at SoPro, Craig Hendry that was head of Razor Pines, Lucas that started Lucky Town.
And this thing is, I don't know a lot of these names.
What I'm saying is, if there's such a thing as OGs, we were the OGs of brewing in the state. And so we were all just kind of hanging out and drinking beer and glad to be. And it got to a point where there was 100, 150 beers in this competition. And so that same buddy that had David Moore, shout out to David Moore.
Shout out, David. He's
working at Austin Home Brew Shop now, following his dream. But David had said, well, there's national competitions. I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, there's a competition in Houston. Do you want to send some beer? I said, can I do that? And he's like, yeah, you can do it. You just ship it and they'll judge it. And so we did good there. And then we went to Corvallis, Oregon.
What would you place in that national competition?
Well, nationals is another competition that we eventually
is like
did.
A beer Olympics.
Yeah, there was 8,600.
So you're talking, you got like even the big corporate companies coming at you.
Well,
or
no. This is purely amateur at that point. And I was still casinoing and working and doing that. And so we were fortunate enough to enter our first national competition, and I want to say that was 13 or 14. I can't remember. But I'd been brewing for a while, so I just kind of threw some beers at it. And I had 2 beers that qualified for the finals. And I was fortunate. I won a gold medal that year out of 8,600 beers. There was
gold medal.
Yeah.
What was the beer?
It's a German style beer called a Weizenbock.
Have I had it?
Yeah, you have. It's a bigger beer. It's a
Heavier
wheat beer. It's a dark beer. It gets confused with
8,600 people entered this competition, and you came out with the gold.
Well, 8,600 beers were entered, and
my question is, because I know it's a lot of work to brew beer. It's not like you just fill up something.
It's whether you do
let it go,
whether you do it professionally or at home. It's a full day's work.
When you started brewing beers, how many times, just like this podcast, if you can see how we're growing at the podcast and understanding it, there's a lot of failures when we first started.
Oh, absolutely.
How many failures did you have until you said, you know what, honey, this is a good beer?
Well, it's funny you said that because my wife, I had taken on a whole room of the house for nothing but brewing supplies. And nobody was happier that I started this business than her to get it out of the house. But I had failures. I had failures. I got to be honest. And there was beers that I thought were good, and then I would send them off to be judged at a BJCP certified competition, and they weren't that good.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, "Oh, they don't know what they're talking about," or "Oh, it must have been the shipping," I said, "You know what? Maybe it wasn't that good." And so I actually would take that beer and I'd throw it out, and I would brew another one. My whole goal with brewing was just to have fun with it at first. What really changed for me in the whole brewing scene was that right after I won that gold medal, I was asked to brew for the U.S. Open Championship, which is against the pros. And I was just asked because I'd won a gold medal at
We're talking like Yingling.
Yeah. That year, Cigar City, Oscar Blues, there was a few of them, but the U.S. Open Championship, I sent off my beers. I wasn't thinking anything about it. I was thinking about I wanted to try something else at work, to do something else. I'd always kind of, because I'd done it for my whole life. I was trying to make a change, and then all of a sudden I get notified that not only did my beer do well, it placed second at the U.S. Open Championship against some pros.
And what beer was this?
It was that same Weizenbock.
Okay.
That was the one I had to enter because that was the beer I had. So I was very excited about that. Weinstefner, who had placed third at that competition, the oldest German brewery, and this is a German style, so I felt good about that. And so it was good. It was fun, and it also made me realize that, man, these guys are doing this as a profession. I'm just some guy doing it out of my garage. Maybe I need to do this. And that's when the wheels started turning, and I started talking to my wife and saying, look, I think I want to do this. And thank God she was very supportive.
Well, seems like we're about to wrap this up, but I appreciate, and Scott's going to be on a lot more. We had some timing issues today. So I appreciate you hopping on the pod for a little bit.
Man, love you.
And just tell people real quick, on your to-go orders, they can call in. I mean,
yeah, the law actually changed last year during COVID. The law changed to where you can actually place a to-go order on the phone with me, and I can fill it then. The law was previous to that, I had to wait till you came in to fill something. So if you see something that we have and you want a growler fill, you can call in an order and we can get that order ready for you. Especially if you're a long-term customer and we know you well. Or if you're a new customer and you want to try the place out, I would suggest for your first time, though, is coming in, maybe getting a flight, trying the beers, seeing what you like, and going from there.
And guys, he's got 20 in-house brewed beers locally here in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. it's an experience in itself just to meet Scott and taste his beers. So you definitely want to stop by, come check him out. You're open Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah, Tuesday through Saturday. We'd like to add on Sunday right now.
2 to 9.
Yeah.
Come get you a growler. Come support local. And appreciate it, Scott.
Man, I appreciate you as
Take care.
always. Bye.